Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about Zeong. Zeong is a 2.5k support unit equipped with many technical tools such as Fast Fall and Rainbow Break Cancel. With these two, Zeong can be extremely hard to take down if the player is able to input them correctly. Zeong is a powerful unit at most range, be able to send out its arm to deal damage by itself, staying far away safe. Its main is also great in mid to close range, since it is multiple beams that spread out wide. It is hard for opponent to dodge. However, Zeong has a real low HP of 580, so it suffers greatly if getting hit by a high damage combo or weapon such as Gerobi. When Zeong dies, costing the game over, it will however go into zombie mode instead, which is a form of floating head, losing a lot of mobility, however, still equipped with a head Gerobi. So Zeong main shoot out beam from his finger, 5 of them to be exact, and they're spread outward. The interesting part as you see just now is like 55 damage in the middle and 22 damage on the side. So the middle beams do more damage than the side damage. And if you are really close to the target, of course, more than one beam can hit at the same time. So why this beam work really well from mid to close range? It's really hard to land from far away, like say it's at the edge of the red lock. Because it will spread thin like that, it will barely hit, and it doesn't have tracking, so you know how use your BR, it will chase the target, but this one it just comes straight out and spread, so it's better to use them close range. Also, in some situation, only a couple of beam will hit and will not stagger the unit, like you might be seeing just now. You have to be ready to confirm with other things. Zeong CSA will have his head move up and shoot. The tracking and stuff are not that interesting, it's just similar to regular BR, and the damage itself is not that high either. You can see it's about the same as regular BR. The cool part about it though is that when the head move up, it acts as an individual pieces. It acts as an individual entity, so you can still do other move while the head just shoot. For example, I can have the head move up, and I can still shoot main at the same time as it, as you can see here. Or let's say I can use sub. You can use them at the same time. For Zeong sub, he shoot out a beam from his arm like that. It have a pretty good knockdown rate. However, if you send your arm out, which I will talk about this later on how to do it. But for example, if I send one of my arm out and I use this, only one beam will come out, as you can see, and it will not yellow the target if I shoot at them like that. See, it's not yellow target, only do 65 damage. This move is pretty good self-defense too, especially when you have 2 arm up when someone come near you. It's pretty large and fast and decent muzzle correction, so be sure to use that as self-defense too. His AC, or the spatial shooting, is a Gerobi from his belly. The start of the projectile speed are noticeable kind of slow, as you can see here, but it does a lot of damage and it lingers on the map for a while, so you can use it to shoot in green lock and hopefully that someone will run into it or use that kind of tactic. For his BC or spatial fighting, he will send out both arms to the side of the target and will shoot out beam from his arm. You can see here, they will shoot at the same time. So it looks like a regular main, but it actually doesn't share an ammo with a main. If you look, my main's still up. You don't have to worry about that. Also, that is a neutral spatial fighting or BC. If you can send one arm out at a time by holding one direction of 4-6 or left and right. So here I can just send out the right arm, as you can see. And if I press shoot while the arm is out, the arm will stop and shoot before it reaches the target. So that doesn't really do much, to be honest, but it is there if you need to use it. Generally, it's better just to let the arm go all the way and let it position to the side of the enemy and shoot. To be more reliable. Good strategy is to be sending the arm sideways and applying pressure from the front like that. So you will crossfire with your own arm, right? So that's pretty effective to crossfire your target by yourself. Another thing to know is that like if you send out side arm and then press main, you get a fastball. And another thing to note about sending arm as well is when Zeong doesn't have arm or when both of them send out, you can't sub and you can't guard. Because you have no arm to shoot them out or guard. Be mindful, don't send them both out at a time. It's better to send one out at a time and keep one so you can still shoot main and choose sub and guard if needed. Zeong melee will punch the target. So as you can see, the range, you have to be quite, I think you have to be just in red lock and rich. Like that, yeah. Again, not that really useful. It's much better just to shoot. Zeong will not use too many melee at all. It'll just shoot mostly. But of course, the main function of Zeong, or what make it function well, is this next melee, which is the Pyokaku or the jump melee, which is egg beat. It have a landing property, so of course you can rainbow break cancel off it. So if you, and then this, you will regain your boost as you stop, as you can see. But it does take quite a while. I mean, it's still pretty fast. However, if you mix this with the fast fall motion of the Zeong, which is what I show you, the sub and main, if you regain the boost very fast, pretty much immediately as the main is being shot. Because as the main is being shot, he's pushed down to the ground, so the game registers as him stopping. So you gain the boost right away. So it looked like this. Just watch the boost gauge as I shoot out the main, you gain the boost right away. Sorry, I sent out two arms. Let me do it again. As you can see, get the boost right away after you shoot. So this allows Zeong to pretty much move forever. And again, to make this more stronger, you can hold a charge shot as well, because the charge shot has its own entity. So you can add that to anything and you can still do the motion. Then you still get the boost recovery. So very nice. So Zeong will actually use this to move around a lot. Of course, you will not just do this like all the time, but you will do it a lot. And yeah, it's pretty powerful to be able to keep moving. So to be a pretty good Zeong player, you have to master this. And the one thing about the jump attack is that like it's always go toward the target, right? If you're in red lock, it's always go forward. Sometimes you might not want to go forward, and if the enemy, the same target is further away like this, you might want to target them and then move on the direction you want instead. So it's also, you know, hard to use because you also have to switch target a lot. Like for example, you might target this guy and then chain target back and then shoot this guy. Yeah, it takes a lot to practice. It is a technical unit, but if you can master it, you can pretty much survive nearly forever. And this unit is pretty strong in pretty much all ranges. The hand just covered close to mid-range and have Garobi, and also the send arm out to shoot is covered the long range, so he can stay at a safe range and can do a lot of damage. His super is probably one of the best super in the game. It's like a Garobi that spread out very far. You can see it's have insane muscle correction, really reliable. So if you're close to someone, if you mostly hit, unless they know it's gonna happen and they step it or something, or even if they step it, sometimes they will get hit anyway because it's so wide. It covers the side well, so they might have to guard it. And shooting burst is something to consider for Zeong because it make all the reload faster, and of course power up his main, which you can spam if you do shooting burst. Like this is pretty powerful. It's hard for someone to dodge this much power. Of course, green burst is still possible if you think you're gonna die first, so you do your best to die second. But again, for this kind of unit, it's better to go on offensive with the blue burst. And blue burst can play defensive as well, just not all the way defensive as green. However, it benefits so much if you have blue bursts, it allow you to be able to chase and end the game or kill someone as well. And you have the tools to stay alive in terms of fast fall and rainbow break cancel. So you can use that to stay alive more. Alright, let's watch some replay here. So partnering with Dreadnought, kind of weird comp again as usual. So usually Zeong will play as a support, but I think in this case we might see Zeong front, so that would be interesting to do. So there's the nice fast walking on already and a long beam going forward. Well, Dreadnought is probably not pulling back himself, but we'll see. But we also might get a support not Gyro B, like funnel from Dreadnought as well to attach to us. So doing a lot of jumping here, and that's a nice movement. Getting shot a little bit by new here, no problem. Punch there, not doing too much. So their main and head landed on the new there, and the close range, okay, knockdown again. But as you can see, jump here and then like look backward, as I was saying on the commentary, that you will actually do the jump on the other character or green lock and then change the target really fast a lot. So that's another knockdown from the wake up again. Very nice play by the Zeong character so far. Well, 409 HP, partner is 213, so he might go down first, and now bursted from the GPO2, doing quite a bit of damage but getting knocked down in the end there. So 218, have to be careful not to die here. Zeong bursted here and doing a lot of damage back to the GPO2. GPO2 went down, he's gonna be outburst soon. Zeong just moved backward there with the sub shooting, and now going forward again with the jump attack. He recover the boost a lot and be able to keep moving without getting hit too much there. Very confident with his movement there, very nice. So you need a lot of composure to play this unit, and this player definitely show some of that trade a lot. So as you can see here, so Nu's coming in here, have to be a little bit careful, but Nu bursts, he might take down him at the end because of the burst. It's really powerful. The burst plus the barrier is extremely hard to stop at the end. So he went down there, 250 HP, so Zeong will die second, but that's still no problem. The enemy is pretty low, both of them are pretty low, and Nu might go down here, getting shot by the main GPO2, have to try to stay alive as long as possible, but Nu is slow too, and he getting caught in the nuke, and that super by Zeong ended the game. So if you want to play this unit, I'll have a more replay that you can watch. Just link it here if that already exists. If it's not yet, then it will come up eventually. And we do a lot of educational content and entertainment content. Also update news and update as well for Gundams.